The Diary of a Young Girl, commonly known as the Diary of Anne Frank, is one of the most important and widely read personal accounts of the 20th century. Written by Anne Frank between 1942 and 1944 while hiding from Nazi persecution during World War II, the diary offers an intimate, powerful perspective on fear, hope, adolescence, and the resilience of the human spirit. More than a historical document, this book is a deeply personal coming-of-age story unfolding under extraordinary and tragic circumstances. A birthday gift that changed history. On June 12, 1942, Anne Frank, a 13-year-old Jewish girl living in Amsterdam, received a diary for her birthday. Just weeks later, her life changed forever. As Nazi occupation intensified in the Netherlands, Jewish families were subjected to increasing restrictions. They were banned from public spaces, required to wear yellow stars, and faced the growing threat of deportation. When Anne's sister Margot received a summons to report to a labor camp in Germany, the Frank family went into hiding. The secret annex. Anne, her parents Otto and Edith Frank, and Margot hid in a concealed section of Otto Frank's office building, later known as the secret annex. They were later joined by the Van Pels family and a dentist named Fritz Pfeffer. The annex was cramped, dark, and silent during working hours. The group depended entirely on a few trusted employees for food and supplies. Anne began addressing her diary entries to an imaginary friend named Kitty. Through her writing, she documented daily life in hiding, the tension, arguments, fear of discovery, and the monotony of confinement. Life in confinement. Living in close quarters created constant strain. Personal differences, limited resources, and anxiety about the war intensified conflicts. Anne often clashed with her mother and felt misunderstood by the adults. Yet her diary also reveals humor, curiosity, and emotional growth. She writes about her dreams of becoming a writer and journalist, showing remarkable self-awareness for her age. The diary captures the duality of adolescence. Anne's reflections move from childish observations to profound philosophical insight. Fear and hope. The residents of the secret annex lived in constant fear of being discovered. They heard air raids, gunfire, and news of deportations. Every knock at the door could signal arrest. Despite this, Anne maintained hope. One of her most famous reflections expresses her belief that people are truly good at heart, a statement that has become a symbol of resilience and optimism amid horror. Anne's writing reveals her internal struggle. Moments of despair are followed by renewed determination to believe in humanity. Growing up in hiding. As the months passed, Anne matured emotionally and intellectually. She developed romantic feelings for Peter Van Pels, finding comfort in companionship. She also became more reflective about identity, faith, and the nature of prejudice. Anne distinguished between her outward, cheerful personality and her deeper, thoughtful inner self. Her writing increasingly demonstrates critical thinking and empathy. She began revising her diary with the intention of publishing it after the war, inspired by a radio broadcast encouraging citizens to preserve wartime accounts. Arrest and aftermath. On August 4, 1944, after more than 2 years in hiding, the secret annex was betrayed. The residents were arrested by the Gestapo and deported to concentration camps. Anne and her sister Margot were eventually sent to Bergen-Belsen, where both died of typhus in early 1945, just weeks before the camp was liberated. Anne's father, Otto Frank, was the only member of the annex to survive. After the war, he returned to Amsterdam and was given Anne's preserved diary by one of the helpers. Recognizing its importance, he worked to have it published. In 1947, The Diary of a Young Girl was first released. Themes and meaning. The diary explores powerful and enduring themes. The loss of innocence in wartime. The resilience of hope. The importance of self-expression. Identity and adolescence. The human cost of prejudice and hatred. Anne's diary transforms unimaginable historical tragedy into a deeply personal narrative. Through her words, the Holocaust becomes not just statistics, but lived experience. Historical and cultural impact. The diary has been translated into dozens of languages and adapted into plays and films. It remains one of the most widely read books in the world. Its impact lies in its humanity. Anne was not a political figure or soldier, she was a teenager with dreams, fears, humor, and ambitions. Her voice reminds readers that history is made of individual lives. The diary continues to be studied in schools globally, serving as both a literary work and a vital historical testimony. Conclusion. The Diary of a Young Girl is not merely a record of hiding during war, it is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. Through her honesty, vulnerability, and hope, Anne Frank left behind a voice that transcends time. Her diary challenges readers to confront hatred, value freedom, and remember the cost of intolerance. Above all, it reminds us that even in the darkest moments, the desire to live, to dream, and to believe in goodness can endure.